As the head of junior school, my vision for the primary is very simple. While it's important, of course, to provide students a solid foundation in terms of academics, I believe that the curriculum also needs to focus on the development of students as human beings. Learning at BIS Junior is not just about stimulating children intellectually. That's important, but it's equally important to stir compassion and empathy in their souls. In today's fractured, selfish, materialistic world, I think what we need more than anything else is kindness. We do our very best to instill this value in our students through various initiatives. For instance, a couple of years ago, we introduced the idea of social change and peace ambassadors in grade 5. Students from grade 5 are encouraged to apply for this position and take up causes then that are helpful for the entire school community and the community beyond. We do our best to encourage the attitudes of gratitude, appreciation, and compassion through similar student-led initiatives like kindness challenges, appreciation weeks, etc. It's also our constant endeavor to foment attitudes of collaboration and cooperation in the classroom and therefore in the community. One more practice that we have at BIS is that every Monday morning I read to the students because I believe that stories are a very powerful vehicle for instituting change. And so I read to them stories about inspiring human beings, about children like them who've done things, care for the environment, and so on. Being at BYP school, this is actually very easy, and besides, it's also mandated by the board to integrate these values into the curriculum. So we consciously plan units and learning experiences that encourage children to discuss, explore, reflect on, and most importantly, take action that will help them become kinder, more caring, and considerate human beings.
An ongoing professional development for our teachers on inclusion, so as to reflect about their own values and approach to differences, to encourage alternative perspectives, debate ideas, create a class environment which is open to representation of different viewpoints, to be approachable with concern for student issues and treating all with respect, while establishing some ground rules about acceptable and unacceptable behavior. Having high expectations from all our students. Research shows that students respond best when they know that teachers have faith in their abilities and are not focusing on their inabilities. Also creating personalized and adapted learning programs for our students, which include participation of all stakeholders. We did this by creating what we call growth plans, which is personalized to the students' needs and takes into account what they like to do, what they can do, and what they would want to do. This included support tutorials, individual learning plans, short and long-term goal setting, and inputs from parents and students to ensure ownership of learning. That creating an inclusive environment was not only for those students with learning differences or challenges. It was to support all students who may not have a learning difference, but by making them more aware, tolerant, and understanding, they would make the entire environment a more enriching and learning one.
Students express empathy and compassion in very different ways. We have students who have started initiatives and such as fundraisers to help the auxiliary staff. We have some students who are collaborating with schools from a different socioeconomic background. We have students who have started mentorship programs to build the culture that BIS so truly of inclusion that BIS so truly closely believes in. And I've often seen with classes which have students who are differently abled, their peers actually make it a point to understand the limits and the needs that these students have and find different ways to help them, to be there for them. to understand their triggers and make sure that they don't contribute to them. And even if they do get triggered, they find ways in which they can help these individuals soothe themselves. And that, I think, is the true spirit of inclusion. Appreciation and gratitude are also extremely important when it comes to inclusion. We often create opportunities in the form of edu tours, collaborations with schools with students from different intellectual, social, economic capacities, working in the community, having individuals and experts coming from different areas of life come and talk to the students, for students to understand the privileges they have, value it, appreciate it, and express gratitude for it. As teachers, we constantly try to role model inclusion in our interactions with each other and with the students, and help them understand that inclusion is an ongoing process and it is a choice that each of us need to make every day.